What is going on out there, peeps? Welcome to the Pimpy Show. A soldier in his quiet civil war and a fight to control the thoughts and actions of the people. So I've been watching lately in the news, on the left just fall apart. I mean, their heads are exploding. One of their biggest weapons to control the narratives, literally around the world, a social media platform that they used as a weapon, has been taken from them. And they don't know how to act or behave. Elon Musk, as we know, took over Twitter, and what he has done is allowed it to be a true free speech platform. Well, the left can't have that. They want to claim that this is a threat to democracy. The truth of the matter is, Twitter was a platform that was controlled and used by those on the left who used it to control the narratives to help push their agenda forward, and silencing those who opposed the vaccines, those who believed there was issues with the 2020 elections. If you had opposing opinions, they were censored. And we were told by our government that these platforms were private companies, therefore they had the right to censor you. Now that Elon Musk has bought Twitter, he's turned it into a true free speech platform, and we're seeing the people on the left go all out in their attacks against Elon Musk, as well as the Twitter company. So let's go through and sort out the truth from the BS. And I'll point out the tactics that are constantly used by those on the left in order to control speech, period, in this country and around the world. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy Silver. Yes, it has changed. PIMPY-SILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos, because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. I do think it's entertaining and hilarious that the people on the left will come out and make false claims, and they don't want to be fact-checked at all. One of the attacks on Twitter and Elon Musk is that the platform has become a haven for racists and misinformation, and that hate speech has increased since Elon Musk has taken over. Two things. One is that we found out that there was a lot of fake accounts that were created right before Elon Musk took over, and those fake accounts were the cause of all the racist comments and misinformation. So it shouldn't be any surprise that you find out that most of these fake accounts were created by people from the left, just for the sole purpose of the media to focus in on these specific accounts and use to smear and attack Elon Musk and Twitter. But Elon Musk has been doing a great job of going through Twitter and removing all the fake accounts as well as the bot accounts. And the funny thing is, we're noticing that the so-called followers, that a lot of the people on the left, the so-called darlings of the left, had a ton of followers. Well, we found out these accounts are fake. It was just used to boost the numbers to make them look more popular than they were. As we get rid of the fake accounts and the bots, you start to see their numbers dwindle. On the opposite side, people on the right whose accounts were low are all of a sudden seeing huge spikes in their numbers. That's because they're not being shadow banned anymore. In other words, silenced. You can see right here on the graphs, hate speech impressions are lower since Elon Musk took over. There was a quick spike, but that was all those fake accounts that were created. But here you can see on the graph, hate speech is on a decline. Yes, it's down, not up. The media is just lying to you. The number of users is not on the way down. It's up. Elon Musk has added an additional 2.5 million people to the platform. People who probably felt disenfranchised with all the censoring that took place. They're happy to be back to a platform that allows actual free speech. People got to understand that there's a much bigger tyrannical agenda by governments around the world pushing this World Economic Forum's Great Reset. So anything that becomes a threat to their agenda, they're going to attack and try to find other ways, alternative ways to control it. White House keeping a close eye on misinformation on Twitter. They didn't seem to care about misinformation prior to Elon Musk taking over. You see, with a true free speech platform, this allows opposing opinions and the truth to come out, which is what they don't want. Look, if you have a government out there claiming that they're trying to protect people from misinformation and fake news, that's a government that's tyrannical. The best way to fight hate speech is with more speech. Calling it misinformation, calling it hate speech, calling it fake news doesn't give governments the right at all to censor people. It's an excuse that governments use to do a power grab. The more they control what you hear and see, the more they can lie to the public and mislead them. That's why this move by Elon Musk is a huge threat to this worldwide agenda. And that's why you're seeing governments everywhere freak out about it, including our own White House. The White House on Monday said it was monitoring social media platform Twitter, now under the stewardship of new chief executive Elon Musk, for misinformation. Well, so what? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. The government can't do anything. For the same reason that they told us when they were censoring. Well, it's a private company. They have the right to censor if they want to. They have the right to control what is and what is not on the platform. But now that somebody who doesn't align with their agenda takes ownership of the platform, oh, now you want to panic. Whoa. The truth of the matter is the government can't do anything about it. That's a violation of the Constitution. It violates our free speech rights. But to show you that this agenda is much, much bigger than you think and how much Twitter is a threat to the World Economic Forum's New World Order government, look at this. EU warns Musk that Twitter faces ban over content and moderation. In other words, if you don't do what we tell you to do and censor subjects we want you to censor, then we're just going to find a way to get rid of you. Because this is what tyrannical governments do. One of the latest things that I thought was funny was when the White House was expressing their concerns that Saudi Arabia was a partner with Elon Musk on Twitter. They didn't seem to care about Saudi Arabia prior to Elon Musk owning it. Saudi Arabia has been a huge stakeholder for a long time. Now all of a sudden they're an issue now that Elon Musk has control of Twitter. But I do think there are some steps that need to be taken to protect the people on the platforms much better than there is now. So here's the latest. Saudi's kingdom holding company to maintain Twitter stake. So originally, they didn't want Elon Musk to buy Twitter, but they decided to remain major stakeholders. Saudi Arabia's Kingdom Holding Company and the private office of Prince bin Talal said on Friday that they will continue their ownership, not get new ownership, continue. They had already owned a bunch of shares prior to Elon Musk owning. So for the White House to act like all of a sudden Saudi Arabia is a threat and that's why we should monitor what Elon Musk is doing is just BS. But I think social media platforms should do all they can to limit the access that some people have on Twitter. Just because you're a major stakeholder doesn't mean you should have access to a lot of the data that's there. And that's the problem, is a lot of the data that these platforms collect somehow magically end up in the hands of the wrong people. Back in 2014, there were individuals who worked for Twitter who were taking the data of people who were speaking out against the royal family in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to show you an example of why it is that people have to do better about controlling the personal data of individuals on Twitter. There was 3 people working in Twitter that were spying for Saudi Arabia, looking at people who were speaking out against the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And this information cost people their lives. So Twitter gave Saudi Arabia information about journalists who ended up dead. Twitter has come under fire after another descendant journalist was reportedly tortured and killed in Saudi Arabia. But it's not just Saudi Arabia who has access to the data, so does China. And this is why it's dangerous. And if you think they're the only 2 governments that have access to all the data that's on there, you're sadly mistaken. We know for a fact that the CIA has offices in Facebook and in the offices of our media, as well as CNN, MSNBC, and so on. So why does our intelligence agencies have offices at these news agencies or at Facebook and other social media platforms? When Elon Musk got there, he cut off their access and got rid of them. So to nobody's surprise, the people on the left will turn around and start recruiting people from Hollywood, late night show hosts, to go ahead and help with the attack against Elon Musk and Twitter. Again, to control the narrative and what people think about Twitter and Elon Musk is the attempt. But if people just take a couple of seconds to do the research, they can find out that most of the stuff they say is a lie, such as hate speech increased since Elon Musk has taken over Twitter. I just showed you a graph that's not the case. As a matter of fact, it's actually lower than it was prior to Elon Musk buying it. The people on the left like to also pick out these people from Hollywood. Most of the time, these are people who are no longer relevant. And they just love to kiss the butt on the people on the left in order to gain favors. One of those people is a person I really can't stand. She's a hypocrite, and that's Alyssa Milano. Everything she says is just BS. So either she is just ignorant or willfully ignorant in the things she talks about. And she gets slammed all the time on social media for her stupid comments and posts. Recently, you can see here, November 26, 2022, this is what she posted. I gave back my Tesla, because that's her little way of protesting against the free speech platform. I bought the VW EV. I love it. I'm not sure how advertisers can buy space on Twitter. Publicly traded companies' products being pushed in alignment with hate and white supremacy doesn't seem to be a winning business model. This one post alone has so many things to focus on. So she's saying she got rid of her Tesla because Elon Musk and Twitter are lining themselves up with white supremacy and you need to take a stance against it. That's why she bought a VW. To show you her lack of knowledge, VW was created by the Nazis. Those white supremacists. So she got rid of her Tesla because she tried to falsely associate it with white supremacy, only to buy a new VW that's absolutely connected to white supremacy. Oh my goodness. But here's another thing too. She says a publicly traded company. Twitter's no longer a public company. They're a private company, so they have the right to do what they want. Before Elon Musk owned Twitter, the people on the right were advocating for government to get involved and stop these companies from censoring people. But now that Elon Musk owns it, now you see the people on the left crying that they want censorship. What the heck? And the audacity for her to talk about white supremacy. This comes from a chick that does blackface. But it's more than that. Every time this woman opens up her mouth, she sticks her foot right in it. It doesn't take long for social media platforms to dogpile on her. So they were quick to point out the fact that she dumped Tesla for VW while complaining about white supremacy, okay? So Alyssa Milano goes on to view another group of left idiots. Let's just hear what she has to say.
20 years as an ambassador for UNICEF?
Yes, I've been an ambassador for 20 years.
The ambassador for UNICEF. If you remember, Alyssa Milano jumped on the whole Me Too bandwagon. Why don't you do just a little more digging into the people and organizations that you support? I've never heard her speak out about the fact that UNICEF has been charged with allegations of sexual exploitation and the abuse in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is in 2020. So the workers in the UNICEF were accused of sexual abuse. You can see right here. I've not heard a single word from Alyssa Milano about the organization that she represents. Did she speak out against this sexual exploitation? No. Two consultants accused UNICEF UK of institutional racism. This again is the same organization that she represents. She wants to go around talking about white supremacy in the whole 9 yards, but I have not heard her speak out about the fact that UNICEF is being accused of institutional racism. It's funny how she's silent on these particular subjects.
The founder of the Me Too movement was here last week, and we were talking about where things are now. 5 years ago, you helped the movement go viral when you tweeted #MeToo.
So here's the thing, before she jumped on the whole Me Too thing. Alyssa Milano only came out looking for sympathy points after she was being slammed by Rose McGowan. And Rose McGowan came out accusing people inside the so-called industry of a lot of sexual misconduct, including people like Harvey Weinstein. She was aware of it. She spoke out about it. Alyssa Milano never came out in support of Rose McGowan. Instead, she almost looked like she started to attack her. And when people started dogpiling on top of Alyssa Milano for being a hypocrite and two-faced, then all of a sudden she had a Me Too moment. And when that happened, Rose McGowan came out swinging. Rose McGowan calls Alyssa Milano a fraud for supporting accused Joe Biden. Yeah, see, she was attacking Trump on accusations, but never said anything about those who accused Joe Biden. For those of you who are unaware, there was a lady named Tara Reid who accused Joe Biden of actually physically assaulting her sexually. Alyssa Milano never came out in her Me Too defense. By the way, kudos to Hakeem Jeffries, the new leader of the Democratic Party, claiming that they're going to do an investigation into Tara Reid's case. We'll see how sincere they are about it, but that's the whole point of Rose McGowan going after Alyssa Milano, calling her a fraud. So Alyssa Milano, she turned around and she responds. It said Alyssa Milano responded to Rose McGowan calling her out for her support of Joe Biden, who has recently been accused of sexual assault. On Monday, Milano revealed why she was silent on the resurfaced claims, saying she believes in due process for the presidential nominee before passing judgment, even though she has been a vocal supporter of the Me Too movement. That's funny because she didn't give Trump the same kind of courtesy. She accused him and joined in on all the false accusations and calling him names. What happened to his due process? You see how it is? It's slanted to one side about who she will and won't support. So she doesn't actually support the Me Too movement, except for when it attacks people on the right. So this makes her a hypocrite. She said, I did my work and I spoke to Time's Up, and I just don't feel comfortable throwing away a decent man that I've known for 15 years. In this time of complete chaos without there being a thorough investigation. Again, she didn't give anybody else that type of courtesy. So it makes her a fraud. She's a hypocrite. And you can see right here, Rose McGowan calling her out on her being a fraud. She said, you're a fraud. This is about holding the media accountable. You go after Trump and Kavanaugh saying believe the victims. You are a lie. You have always been a lie. The corrupt DNC is in on the smear job of Tara Reid. So are you. Shame. And that's exactly correct. She's a fake and she's a fraud.
First of all, women are not in the Constitution of the United States of America. Until we pass that Equal Rights Amendment where we have protections in our Constitution, I will not be happy.
This is another lie by those social justice progressives claiming that women are not represented in the Constitution. It's just a flat out lie. It's as big of a lie about blacks being considered 3/5 of a citizen. It's just part of an ongoing attack against what this country stands for, against the anthem, against the American flag, against the Constitution, against our traditions and our cultures and our way of life. First of all, let's just start with the very first paragraph in the preamble of our Constitution, the Bill of Rights. It says, we the people. It doesn't say the white males of the United States. It says, we the people. You see, the framers of the Constitution didn't want to go around categorizing everybody like we see the left doing all the time. They wanted to make sure that every single person was represented in the Constitution. That's why you see them say people are persons. In this case, it says, we the people. That's everybody that is a citizen. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, means inclusiveness, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provided for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves, not to the white males, to ourselves, and our prosperity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So everybody that is a United States citizen, every single person that's a citizen, is protected by the Constitution. Here again, they point out who's represented by the Constitution. It says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdictions thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. That's who's covered by the Constitution. And here they're pointing out who the citizens are. It says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdictions thereof are citizens. Tells you right there. It doesn't say males, females, who, sexual orientation. It doesn't say any of that. It's inclusive. The language has always been inclusive in the Constitution. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or prosperity without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of its laws. So again, this is just one of those stupid little pity attacks from those social justice warriors and those progressive people trying to do all they can to discredit our foundation of our country. Look, our Constitution in the United States is the oldest living Constitution. On average, constitutions live somewhere around 30 years. Our Constitution is over 250 years old, and we have people actively trying to destroy it. They want it rewritten or they want it thrown away. That's something only a communist would do. But again, it says all persons, not all white males. All persons. Females are inclusive in persons. And they go through here and they use words like society, while women are considered part of society. That's another thing. Somebody's spoon feeding and brainwashing her with all this information that she goes out there and tries to advocate for, but she's just an idiot. All right, she really is. Either she's really ignorant or she's intentionally ignorant in order to push a false agenda. So I'm not going to play the full interview. I'm just going to cut to the parts where she makes a statement that I'm going to respond to.
Your name popped up over the weekend when you tweeted that you returned your Tesla.
Yes.
What happened? What changed your mind?
Well, I mean, for me, speaking of Me Too, when he was accused of sexual misconduct and paid out $250,000 to this person, I decided, like, I can't live in that hypocrisy of driving that car when,
Another lie coming out of her mouth. She said original reason why she turned in her Tesla was to protest the free speech platform. Now she's claiming it's because Elon Musk was accused of misconduct when I just showed you an article in which she said she didn't want to go after Biden without due process. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to Alyssa Milano. She's a fraud. She's two-faced. She's a hypocrite. Elon Musk denies he sexually harassed a tenant on private plane in 2016. This is the same kind of crap that Trump went through. You had all these people coming out of the you had all these women coming out of the woodworks, falsely accusing Trump that cannot be proven one way or another. So they use the same type of attacks against Kavanaugh, the same type of attack against Elon Musk. They'll throw everything at him. Sexual misconduct, white supremacy, threat to democracy. And this happens all around the world, you guys. It's not just here. If there's other individuals in other countries that become a threat to this agenda, they get attacked the same way. So no, there's no proof, no evidence that there was a $250,000 settlement. It's just a lie.
Like, I'm so annoyed with all of these billionaires, but especially Elon Musk. You buy Twitter to destroy it for $40 billion. Yeah. Imagine if he donated that money to UNICEF.
I know.
Yeah. He would change the world. There would be no hunger.
So she thinks Elon Musk should solve the problems of the world. Well, the biggest problem he's solving, in my opinion, the attacks against free speech. I can't think of a bigger issue for him to attack. As far as hunger is concerned, well, we got the United States sending over trillions of dollars to help Zelensky in the Ukraine war. That's ridiculous. That's money that could easily be spent here to help our own homeless people and feed them. So this is just part of that attack that goes on from the left. They use their allies in media to come out there and spread their BS in order to discredit those who are a true threat to their agenda. If you think that was bad, it's even going to get worse for Elon Musk and Twitter. Why? Because Elon Musk is about to expose Twitter for what they did prior to his ownership. Oh, the great thing about owning Twitter is you get access to all of their servers, all of their emails, all of their inner office exchanges. Yeah. Look at this. Musk says Twitter interfered in elections, vows to make the platform transparent and even-handed. So Elon Musk on Wednesday said that Twitter has meddled in the elections, and we know that Facebook did it as well. lending credence to critics who say social media platforms have immense power to control politics in the United States and around the world, which is true. Musk did not identify the specific elections he thought were affected by the social media platform's failures when he condemned his predecessor in a reply to a person who said Twitter has lost people's trust. So not only is Elon Musk making these accusations, but he's going to give out the proof to the public. And everybody's looking forward to this data dump. Once it comes out, we're going to find out how the inner workings of Twitter prior to Elon Musk owning it. And we're going to find out just how interactive these platforms are with the White House and our intelligence agencies. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say. But this whole thing about election interference, look, I like how the Democrats like to act like, election interference is new. It only happened when Trump ran for office in 2016. There's never been election interference prior to that. No, every adversary tries to interfere in the other's elections. We have successfully interfered in 64 elections in other countries ourselves. There's a list of them out there. So for those of you who are not old enough, and for those of you who might have forgotten, allow me to point out one of them as an example. Time magazine on July 15, 1996, U.S. meddling in the 1996 Russian elections in support of Boris Yeltsin. What? U.S. interfering in elections? For them to act holier than thou like this doesn't happen is just ridiculous. Now all of a sudden we hear this all the time. Russia's interfering in elections. Russia's interfering in elections. Yeah, that's what adversaries do, just like the United States interferes in other people's elections as well. Now I want you to focus on what this says just in this small part because it's being done in our own country. You ready for this? The secret story of how 4 U.S. advisors use polls, focus groups, negative ads, and all other techniques of American campaigning to help Boris Yeltsin win. We see this all the time. They go, how could the polls have gotten this wrong? Because they lie. The data's false. They mislead people. Focus groups, we have those here too. Negative ads, yep. And all other techniques like social media platforms. So to act like countries don't interfere in other countries' elections is just BS. Like I said, there's a list of 64 times in which the U.S. has successfully gotten the candidate they wanted elected when they thought that candidate had no chance to win. Another thing I'm noticing is that Alyssa Milano is attacking Donald Trump for having dinner with Kanye West, as well as Nick Fuentes, saying that Trump was having dinner with anti-Semites. But it's funny how we never heard from her about these things. How about when Obama himself was friends with the anti-Semite? This is Louis Farrakhan. He had him at the White House. They did everything they could to make sure that this picture didn't go public. So Trump was claiming that Kanye West showed up at his doorstep and wanted to meet with him. And he thought it was only Kanye that was there. Come to find out that he had a couple of other guests. One of them was Nick Fuentes. So Trump was ambushed. Sure, he could easily turn him away, but Trump brought him in and entertained him anyways. Now, whether or not Trump knows who Nick Fuentes is, that remains to be seen. And for anybody else out there to assume they're in the mind of Trump and know what was going on is full of crap. But I think it's funny that they don't ever speak out about these things. So here is Obama with an anti-Semite and nobody said anything to him. As a matter of fact, they try to cover it up. Democratic Senator Robert Byrd. This is a guy that was a member of the KKK. Yeah. Did anybody say anything about him being a Democrat? Did anybody try to force him out of office? The guy served 52 years. Look at, here's Biden. He's friends with Strom Thurmond, a separatist, another racist. Does anybody complain about his past? Oh yeah, they did actually. Remember when his own vice president, Kamala Harris, attacked Joe Biden during the debates, shaming him for constantly bragging about his friendships with separatists? And here you can see Biden here holding the hands of Byrd and Joe Manchin behind him as well. So nobody's out there forcing these guys to denounce white supremacy, to denounce anti-Semites. You don't see anybody going after these people. As people around the world wake up to this agenda and fight back against all this political correctness, all this social justice warrior BS, to all these moves by the progressive left, they're starting to speak out against people like Alyssa Milano, who's either flat out lying or just ignorant about the things that she says and the people she supports. And that leaves it up to people like me to point out the hypocrisy and their BS. Anyways, I appreciate you guys chiming in. I look forward to your comments, and I will catch you later. I'm out.